Welcome, fanatics. This is an entry in the Diary of Doom. It's been a while. I'm still Dylan, and join me as I talk about a weekend from about a month or so ago. As of whenever this episode comes out, I'm not sure when it will come out, but it'll come out soon enough so that it's relevant. And I just went to DesertFest in New York. It was the 3rd edition. And I'm going to talk about it like I talked about it last year's edition. And I've got August West, old returning guest from the show, many episodes. I think last episode before called kind of went on like hiatus with this, and possibly another guest. So let's see if this works.
Hello.
Wow. It sounds amazing now.
We switched phones. Now we're on Boo's phone.
Okay,
sweet.
that'll do it. Joining us also for this Desert Fest recap that I promise will go by quickly, also returning guest, Vater Boris from the band Deja Glue and maybe something else at this point, and your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
hi.
Boo is actually going to be playing synth at the Deja Gravy anniversary show.
Deja
So,
Gravy, not Deja Glue. That's you.
That's me.
All of their songs are about sniffing glue.
Yeah.
Says it right there in your name, Deja Gravy.
Yeah.
And I fucked it up.
it's
Bad
all good.
host. It's been a while since we've all been in this chat together. We did an episode I think like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago at this point, where we just talked about a bunch of albums.
Yeah, that's right. It had to be like 18, 19.
No, I think it was 2020.
I think it was right after we got together, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember you recording that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we were actually like communicating until 2020. And given the circumstances, all we had was the ability to talk at long distance to our friends. So, and we're doing that again, not because we have to, but because we want to.
That's right.
Just quickly, this will be a kind of a short episode recap of when I went to Desert Fest New York 2023 edition pretty recently. That ran from Thursday, September 14th through Sunday. That ran through Thursday, September 14th through Saturday, September 16th. Did y'all have any questions about the fest initially? I'm happy to answer them. I did photograph it again. I did photograph last year's, and I just simply attended the first year's edition in 2019. It was held at the Knockdown Center again for the main part, and Saint Vitus Bar for the pre-party, I think they were calling it.
I have a question for you.
Okay, what is that question?
I guess it would be who was the surprise band of this year? The band that you went in not knowing that ended up knocking your socks off, if there was such a band.
I think the band that I liked the most at last year's was probably Stinking Lizaveta. But this year, I mean, the band that I was most hyped to see was Godflesh. And Godflesh absolutely delivered. Like, just fucking incredible set. Just
Annihilation, I bet.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very difficult to photograph because it was a very like smoke heavy set. You know,
yeah.
It was kind of like sun, a lot of fog, and just like these, like just didn't. They just like didn't sound like any of the bands that played at the festival at all. Like even the bands that were within the same genre, kind of sort of speaking. You could be like, all right, I see it. They're just like such in another fucking like caliber, but like they were just so fucking good. One color set for the lights, like you barely could see. Yeah. Godflesh just completely stole the show. I think they were the highlight. The rest of the bands that were like playing on the main stage on Sunday were Boris and the Melvins.
Nice.
But I did sneak out and go to see Graf Warlock at Saint Vitus on that day. And it was an incredible show. That band fucking is amazing.
So we saw Melvins and Boris on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then you can talk about Melvins and Boris.
I mean, we can talk about Melvins and Boris. I mean, we went to 3 shows in the past week. The previous Monday was Mr. Bungle and Battles.
I went to the New York stop here.
Oh, nice. Tuesday was Melvins and Boris. The day after, we saw the OCs, and in 2 days, we're seeing Slow Dive.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Trying.
And I'm assuming that Melvins and Boris were probably pretty good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was. I know that you've seen them like well, not Boris, but Melvin.
Yeah, this was my first Boris show and my 12th Melvin show. So.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I used to.
I love
used
it.
to see the Melvins a lot when I was younger. I haven't before this year. I haven't seen the Melvins in probably 4 or 5 years. It's been a minute.
Space it out. You know?
Yeah, I mean, plus like a lot of it was like pressed together. Like they did a residency in New York City, so that was 2 shows together. I saw them twice on the Light Tour just because they were going for the world record.
Oh yeah, when they did the 50 states or whatever, 50.
Yeah,
we were just talking about that today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did they play Hawaii and Alaska on that tour?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a whole
There you go.
documentary about it. It's only like an hour long, but it was pretty cool. I mean, plus
I can't imagine that there's that many Melvins fans in Hawaii.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends. I mean, it depends if they live in the volcano or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because certain Melvins is like Molten Man music, you know.
Yeah.
That is true. They do
Gluey
at
porch
times
treatment,
sound like
that.
a melty dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you know, was oh god, the sleep song, the Hot Lava Man or whatever, but close. Oh,
They'd be on the same playlist.
yeah, maybe in the same
Yeah.
playlist. Yeah.
Well, it's fitting that they went on tour. I mean, Boris took their name from a Melvin song, right?
I'm sure they toured before, probably.
I
or
feel
at
like
least
they
played
did.
shows
Yeah.
before.
I feel like since touring has started again, I feel like we are seeing just a lot of the same tours. And I feel like it's just because bands are like, we know these tours will draw crowds, so we're not going to like be too like fucking crazy with them. So that's probably, that's why you're seeing like Goat Whore touring again with I Hate God.
With that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was about to fly out for Desert Fest. I was like,
Yes,
so
you were going
close.
to.
I was so close, simply because one band,
That being Color Haze.
Color Haze. I'm a huge Color Haze fan. I fucking love that band. I've been loving that band forever, like since the '90s, late '90s. I've been into that band, and they never play here. That was like they played way back in the day at this, like it was kind of like a proto. It was a lot of heavy bands, right? Like stoner and sludge bands. It was in Ohio. I believe it was called like Emissions from the Monolith Festival, or
yeah, that
something
sounds
like
correct. I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Thank the riff for Riffpedia.
Yeah. Those dudes, they all have jobs, and
Yeah.
so they play, they play a lot of shows over in Europe. They do like, small tours, like a lot of like 4 and 5 show tours, all around Europe, but they like never ever come here. So it was really special that you got to see them, and I'm really jealous. So.
Oh man, where are they from?
They're from Germany. I actually didn't realize
yeah.
that their bass player is not the one that I saw is not the guy. He left in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Philip. Yeah, Philip was he was the original bass player. They were the original all members up until 2020.
It's hard to keep that going, keep all the original members.
It is. There's very few bands can do it. I think Clutch does it very nicely.
Clutch does it, and like that's about it.
ZZ Top.
Yeah, that's like about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, now you're going into classic rock bands. It's like
Right, but it took one of them dying. Like that's pretty.
Yeah,
like it was like Rush. Like Neil Peart had to die, and then they're like, "We're done."
Yeah.
I can't find it, but I want to say you're probably correct. It was
called
those...
like it was way before. It was like when there was only like 25 stoner bands. All total. That's it.
Exactly. It was before like the all day, festival full of like buzz bands like became a thing. Now there's like this heavy psych sounds like thing coming up where it's like between New York and Baltimore, and I'm like, yeah, you got Ripple Fest in Texas.
Muddy Roots is expanding.
No, they'll do like anything. I mean, that lineup this year was fucking all over the place.
I didn't even look at it, actually. I didn't even know. It's like pretty soon,
crazy.
Right?
They had like they have like Mexican metal bands, I think, and then you have
that one with the was it that one that I sent you the video of the guy, the Aztec guy, and he cuts out the dude's heart?
It was that band, but that was fucking wild.
Yo, it was way over the top. It was sick.
Tribal Mexican metal.
Nice.
Yeah. They had a guy come out with a full-on Aztec gear with the mask and the pheasant tail feathers, the whole thing. And the guy come out and he was beating up this like a slave guy or whatever, and then he put him over I'm assuming they might have they might have like an altar or something when they play like local shows. I'm sure they have a whole stage set up, but they were doing a festival, right? So it was a short set and they had to do it real quick. So they laid out the guy on top of a road case, okay? And he like cut his heart out, and the dude, he holds it up and it's the blood and he's eating it. It's great. Yeah, it's amazing.
Is he on Kali Ma?
No. Yeah, but yeah, it was that same thing. Yeah, very Kali Ma. Yeah, very Kali Ma. Yeah.
That did not happen at DesertFest in New York City.
I see.
But I can attest to August.
A festival if there's no one eating a heart on stage.
Fucking color Haze.
Like
they just grab a guy and just like rip his fucking heart out. They're just like, they're going to eat your heart now.
Select the sacrifice. They just select the sacrifice every show.
But yeah, that Thursday was probably the day I liked the most. I mean, I did not get there in time to see the first band, which is like a local band called Sonic Taboo. So sorry, I didn't get to see you. But I did get to see Duel from Texas, and they're just like pretty good riff rock. Like that's for what they are. I think they are one of those bands that just like they're good at the thing that they do. Guy has a good voice. I like them. Lopan played after them. I'm a big fan of Lopan. I think they fucking rock. And this was probably their best set. Their drummer had cancer, and it seems that he's gotten over it. So it was good to see them fucking kicking ass and him kicking ass. And then Color Haze was fucking amazing. Like they were so fucking good. Just
that's sick.
They were great both days. Obviously, like the second day was great too. Like they were fantastic, but it was hard to beat like being at Saint Vitus Bar and Color Haze was playing, and it was like a packed show, but nobody was, being rowdy because it's not that kind of a performance. But like, yeah, they were good. It sounded good in there. They were fucking great. Awesome. They were they were probably like an easy second after Godflesh for me.
I miss Vitus. I haven't been there since maybe 2020. Yeah, and then pandemic happened, and then we moved to Massachusetts. So I haven't been to St. Vitus.
It's been a busy couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, I have a quick story that happened outside of St. Vitus Bar that I think you all will find pretty funny. Maybe you saw it on my Instagram. I think August did, but I'm going to relay it here because it was pretty funny. I'm waiting for a lift back to my apartment, and this dude comes up to me and remarks about my Riding Easy Records Sabbath Worship shirt, which if you don't know what it looks like, they have a couple versions of it, but it's basically like a retro soccer jersey or retro soccer t-shirt style with the stripes on the short sleeve, I think V-neck, and it's got like the stripes on the kind of towards the end of the sleeve kind of look, with big text. It just says Sabbath Worship in it because I like Black Sabbath, and I thought that would be a good shirt to get that wasn't just another Black Sabbath shirt. And I can like wear it to work. And, I'm all about being able to wear band shirts to work. You know what I mean? So this dude comes up to me and he looks at it. And I guess it's important to note that he was wasted. That seems like a very important detail. And he looks at my shirt and he goes, "What is that? Sabbath Worship. Is that a band? It looks like a sports team. What is that? What Sabbath Worship? What? It's a band? What is this? Tell me what it is." And I look over because I noticed some motion, and August will know who I'm talking about here. Kind of our mutual friend, our Gavin, and he's pointing inwards, and he's mouthing, "Look at his shirt." And I look down, and this guy's wearing a Black Sabbath t-shirt.
That's amazing,
dude. Like your shirt, and he's like, "Yeah, but what is that?" I'm like, it's the genre of music we like. We like it.
You were just at the show. You were just where they played that kind of music. What do you? Is it not common knowledge that everybody that listens to this kind of music should know fucking started with Black Sabbath? Isn't that like a thing? Like, shouldn't you know? Do you know anybody that listens to stoner music or like heavy doom music like that doesn't know who Black Sabbath is or know what their contribution
again,
to the genre is? Because that's
again,
a little.
he was wasted, and as soon as, and it was funny because like another dude that I know like sauntered into the conversation and was just like, "What the fuck is going on?" And the drunk guy did the drunk guy thing where they go, "Hey, you know what? You guys are great," and like they just.
I will comment to answer August's question. I think everybody who likes Doom understands Sabbath, but I don't think everybody who likes Sabbath understands Doom, if that makes any sense.
Ooh, good point.
You know, because like,
yes,
there are Sabbath fans that know the greatest hits, there's not knocking them. That's cool. I'm not trying to be gatekeepy or anything, but like, then you say like there's a whole genre that Black Sabbath inspired, and they're like, yeah, heavy metal. And it's like, no, like we could be a little more specific than that, than just saying heavy metal. And some people get it, and some people, like they'll like actually funny enough when we were at Staples the other day getting the flyers for the anniversary show.
Yeah.
The guy was like, "What type of music do you make?" And I'm like, how do I like explain to someone like I play stoner metal? And I was like, "Do you know Black Sabbath?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Do you know the song Black Sabbath?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, that's like our genre. It's like slow and heavy. And he's like, "Oh, cool, right on." And like, I was able to communicate that. But sometimes, you say Black Sabbath, they might not know the title song. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like Paranoid, I guess, but slower. I don't know.
But this is also a guy I've seen at like numerous shows. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Oh, definitely. No,
like I've seen him at shows. Yeah. And I'm like, you should know what you're talking about. You're just absolutely like blitzed out of your mind.
He must have just been super wasted, dude.
So wasted.
Yeah, there's no way.
He likes Sabbath, not Black Sabbath, guys. Come on.
So anyway, that was pretty funny. So yeah, next day I took Friday off and went to the Knockdown Center. A whole section of the lineup was just trad / thrash metal bands. Like that's like just sort of like very like kind of sleaze rock bands.
Oh, okay.
But like I did like a few of the bands in there. Like I like Castle Rat quite a bit because they play kind of like standard doom, but there's a show with it. There's like a sexy rat lady that comes out. She's got like a big rat head, and there's like a sword fight. And
I was wondering what that was all about. What was that band?
Dude, Castle Rat, and there's like a dude in like a plague doctor mask, and they're all like, I like it because there's like a little show. Like, it's fun. I enjoyed it. So I saw Valley of the Sun, Spellbook, Grave Bathers, 1,000 Mods played, which was the funny thing about their set. And I didn't see this for any other bands that played that weekend, but like apparently their like amps and cabs were not weighed down or tied down. They had people standing behind the cabs, like holding them in place. And I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like,
that's like there's famous pictures of is it Hendrix or Grand Funk Railroad? You guys know what I'm talking about? Of the dude of like the guys back there holding up the cabs back in the day. It's like
I think
it's like
that was
super.
Yeah, I think that was Hendrix.
Hendrix, yeah, he's like, yeah. That's
anyway.
cool.
That was just very funny.
Never had to hold a drum set once. I sat an entire set on the floor holding a bass drum with the ride cymbal above my head, and someone was playing it, and I just sat there the whole time. I was the drum stand for a show.
You were the drum kit.
It was cool.
I actually had to do that for Matt at a show too.
Oh, did
at
you?
A Quimby gig one time, yeah.
Oh my god!
Funny. But yeah,
but someone's got to do it.
Yeah. Sure.
The rest of the bands were Windhand, who stepped in for the Truck Fighters, Color Haze again, R.I.P., which I think was a band that Vader and I talked about on our show, fucking like in 2020 or 21, whenever we did our episode. Do you remember that at all?
Which band?
R.I.P.
I think so. Yes.
They're from Portland. They're again kind of like I think they call themselves Street Doom, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The guy like
Okay.
the guy like his mic stand is in like a scythe, and it was not working for like the whole first song, which was kind of unfortunate for them. And Monster Magnet was the headliner, so that was kind of cool to see Monster Magnet because they're from Jersey.
You got me fired. You got those stories got me all fired up on old Monster Magnet, and I went through like 2 days of just blasting Dopes to Infinity in my car.
And Space Lord. They opened up with a Hawkwind cover, which was cool. Wyndorf kept like walking back, and I'm like, why is he like leaning over? I thought he was like, look, the dude is not young. Like he's getting up there for sure. He was looking kind of tired, like about the time that I left a little early because I just didn't want to deal with the like, mass exodus of people and cars and, getting lifts back home. I was like, why is he like walking? I didn't realize that he was walking in the back to fuck around with like a pedal or sound thing. He was like fucking around with like the noise and the reverb. And I thought he was going over there and like, I don't know, throwing up or something. Like I couldn't tell, but he was fine. I mean, they were fun. Like I enjoyed them. Like I enjoy some Monster Magnet. They're not like my favorite band, but I know some people like really go hard for them. I actually had a really funny encounter with him. I just talked about it with my friends on another podcast. I went to go see, Sarah and I went to go see Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats when they were on that tour with Graveyard, where they were co-headlining. And Uncle Acid played before Graveyard, which was like weird, but also good because we like left early and I wasn't home super late. But I went out to the lobby and I saw a friend of mine that I knew from like college radio days. And we were chatting. And then Dave Wyndorf walks over and he's like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, hey, how's it going? Whatever. He's like, hey, this is my friend Dylan. He's like, Dylan, I know you. And I said, no, you don't. And he goes, yeah, I do. I know you. Who are you? Who are you? I've seen you somewhere before. I'm like, this is real. I'm like, I was a little intimidated. Yeah. So I was like, no, I don't know you. I've never met you before. I swear this is the first time we've ever met each other. He's like, dude, you got one of those faces. I go, I know. It was so wacky.
That's awesome.
So then the next day was Saturday. It was a 4-day festival last year. They did it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And like, I was fucking exhausted after that. I was exhausted after this, but I was happy they did it Thursday to Saturday because chilling on Sunday was nice.
Could I just give a little Dave Wyndorf anecdote here, actually? Because it reminded me of something. It reminded me of it, and I swear, yeah, it's actually really funny now that I think about it. But like, I remember way back in the day, right? Way before any stoner rock, way before I even heard of like Sleep. Or not way before, but like I was about to hear of like Sleep and all the Caius and all that. I didn't even hear Caius, but I'd heard of Monster Magnet, right? And I was into Clutch, and I was into like a lot of metal and grind stuff. But then I like heard Clutch, and I was like, oh shit, it's like this band fucking rules. But my friend that got me into Clutch, he's like, you ever heard Monster Magnet? They only had out Tab and Spine of God. That was it. I don't think Dopes to Infinity had even came out yet. And he was like, I remember him telling me, he was like, yeah, he's like, their singer Dave, like he's all fucked up. You're like, people send him pills in the mail and he just takes them. He doesn't even know what they are. He just takes them. And I remember like that freaked me the fuck out. As a kid, I was like, oh fuck. I was like, that dude's hardcore. I don't even know if it's true or not. I swear to you, I don't even think it's probably not even true.
Oh god. Yeah. Dude, actually on the note of Monster Magnet, I discovered them because I don't even know if he's still there anymore, but I used to practice at a rehearsal space, and I believe it was Red Bank.
Yeah, Red Bank rehearsal.
Yeah,
Red Bank rehearsal. Yeah.
I guess the guy that worked there was from Monster Magnet.
I
think.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who he was. I would just get high with him in the parking lot.
Awesome.
They're like, yeah, he's in the band Monster Magnet, and I'm like, that's cool. Who's that? Like, I had no fucking clue. And then like I got into them, and by the time I got into them, I was out of that band and I wasn't rehearsing there anymore. But it was just like some guy, like, that's the guy I was paying when I was done with band practice. Like, here's the money for having us. I don't know, just it was that's how I discovered them, funny enough, because I would, I was like, who's this guy? He's like, a monster who? A magnet monster? Is that like Mighty Max? Is that like Pocket Monsters? Is that
I mean, they are literally named after that toy. Like, it is a toy.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Monster Magnet was like a toy. I think it was like a thing you like mounted on your bike or something. Like it was just like a monster and it had like a grip, like a claw or something, and you like stuck it on. They called it or some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe it was like a keychain.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Well, now like two of the dudes that are in Atomic Bitch Wax are in Monster Magnet. I think all three of them may have been in Monster Magnet at one point, but I don't think the bass player. I think the bass player is different now. I don't think it's the dude from Atomic Bitch Wax, but the drummer and the guitar player from Bitch Wax are in Monster Magnet. So I've seen the Atomic Bitch Wax so many times. They just like they always jump on tours because they're just like they're right here.
Yeah,
Convenient.
like back then it was there was the guy who works at the rehearsal studio. If I'm not mistaken, there was two brothers that were the original in the original band. It was him and his brother, and he was one of the brothers worked at the studio when I think they played on the first 2 or 3 albums, but then they eventually left. But when they left, I know they started a band called the Ribeye Brothers.
Oh.
And the Ribeye Brothers is pretty badass. It's like some really crazy original music, and Vader, you probably like it. Check it out.
I'll try anything once.
Yeah.
I don't know if there were any brothers involved, but
really.
Well, I
thought they were brothers, but it may have been because of the Ribeye Brothers. It like maybe I thought they were brothers because they started a band called the Ribeye Brothers. I don't know.
It was like a Ramones thing, like where they just had.
I made like a Ramones thing, Yeah, we're all Ramones here.
Former members of the band of Monster Mag include John McBain, who was lead guitar and bass. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Tim Cronin, Tom Diello, Ed Mundell, who was lead guitar for a long time. I don't know what he's up to now. Joe Calandra, John Kleiman, Jim Baglino. He was in the band for a while too. So was Joe Kleiman. Michael Wildwood and Chris Kosnick, who played bass in the.
These are like the most Jersey last names on the fucking planet.
Yeah, all of them.
It's so Jersey. It's so fucking Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Yep, all of them. Every single one. I pictured them all as you said their names. I was like, I never even seen any of them.
Literally, a restaurant in Bloomfield's called Calandra's, like from as
Enough about Monster Magnet. But no shade to Monster Magnet.
No, I love them. Especially
on Saturday at the Knockdown Center, I saw Clouds Taste Satanic, which was cool because they are notably one of the first bands I ever interviewed, even before Diary of Doom.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Mixed Jaguar, who's like a local, again, New York kind of rock band, sort of like a New York Dolls kind of vibe. White Hills, great band, really like them. Mantar played on the main stage. They opened it up, fucking killed it. That band rocks. Conan fucking killed it. That band fucking rocks. Mondo Generator played outside, which was
oh my god,
kind of cool.
It's just to say you saw Nick Oliveri.
Yeah, exactly. Dorothea Cottrell from Windhand did a solo set, fucking killed it. She has an amazing voice. That was really fucking cool. I like that. I mean, I like Windhand, obviously, but like I've seen Windhand a bunch of times, so seeing her do solo was new and cool. Like she's amazing. She's fucking incredible.
Both of those albums I really enjoy.
Yeah, the new one's fucking great too.
Solo, yeah.
Obviously, I talked about Godflesh already. And yeah, I mean, that was like after that, I left for the evening, so I didn't see the rest of it. But I mean, for what I was there for, like, I had a really good time overall. The sound was generally pretty good. Knockdown Center got a new sound system, but I think overall it sounded really nice in the main room. I think definitely like Saturday was the day more for me. I see your pup back there.
Yeah, he's going to bed. He's like, I'm done with this. I'm out of here. Be over here if you need me.
Take a moment and watch this. Oh, there he goes.
There he goes. Boop. He's done.
He's
licking balls. Licking balls. That's it.
Yeah, cover that up. No one wants to see that. But yeah, I mean, I had a good time. I'll be interested to see who they get next year. I would like to see, personally speaking, just like, I think part of the issue is just who is available on tour, and like,
yeah.
So it's like everyone's on tour now, you know what I mean? And like everyone's getting on tour as soon as they can. So it's why you're seeing like Elder rolled through town last year, and then they rolled through town again this year, and I saw them both times because they had like, I wanted to see them through the Hatchet and Dreadnought, and then they brought fucking Resin out with them. So I was like, I gotta go see them both times, and everybody's just out and about. I hope next year they can secure some cool, like, I would like to see some more shit like Primitive Man would be cool, Crowbar would be cool, I Hate God, like, so, some shit like that, stuff that they've had at like the European versions of the festival. Because they're fucking their London one is like, you see the lineup thing, like it's nuts. Like it's nuts. I'm sure even the lower tier bands are really fucking cool.
Last year it was nuts too. Or was it last year when they had like Shellac and stuff playing?
Yeah, I mean like Shellac.
What?
Like I would like to see like Yob next year. That would be very cool. Like I would like to not see repeat bands from the first year. That's just me.
Right on.
Like one or two oddballs. You don't need a lot. You just, like Left Lane Cruiser played last year. That was weird, but like people were into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're a good band.
I think they need to do that. What was that?
They'll get Smash Mouth next year.
A Smash Mouth cover band?
Yeah, exactly.
People throwing bread at them and shit. That'd be amazing.
With what's it called? I was about to say Power Man. It's not it. Mondo Generator. I gotta tell you, man, the first time I saw them, only time I saw them, just because I thought it was funny, they were opening for Clutch, and they played around here at a place called Croc Rock Cafe that no longer exists. I don't know if August remembers that shithole.
I've heard of it. I've never been there though.
They're closed permanently. They fucked up. But it was a cool venue, man. Unfortunately, like it was a small venue that you could see some cool bands at, and Clutch was playing there, as I mentioned. This was right around the Earth Rocker time. Like they introduced Earth Rocker that night, and the album hadn't even been recorded yet. But I remember Mondo Generator was the opener, and I was like, that's so weird because like I thought Nick was still in trouble, and sure enough, Mondo Generator comes out, and Nick's got a big old fucking house arrest bracelet on. Like, I tried to get a picture of it, but this is like God before like smartphones got really smart. But like I just remember I watched a whole Mondo Generator set, and I was distracted by his house arrest bracelet that was blinking the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
that's funny.
Get away with this.
One of my biggest regrets from like that era, and I was in college at the time, was like I had an opportunity to go see Caius Lives, but I wasn't really super into Caius yet. Like I didn't really like. I think I had listened to like one Caius album, and it just didn't really like connect with me on the level of like, go see this band like now, because you're not going to be able to see anything like this for years after the fact, Like the closest I've seen to Caius was when Garcia played last year, and he did like, bulk of the set was Caius songs.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, I saw that Caius Lives. I was at the Trocadero show. It was sick.
So that was DesertFest 2023. We'll see what happens next year. This was Diary of Doom. You can find it everywhere. I'm not doing the social media. Follow it on Instagram and all that bullshit. Thanks for listening. Jumping back in here for Vater to do some personal plugs here, because we were going to do an interview, but there was a little bit of a miscommunication, but we still want Vater to have the opportunity to talk about his band. We should actually maybe do an episode where we have you watch one of these movies and talk about it, because I know you enjoy yourself some horror movies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
But Vater, take it away.
October 7th, Backroom Studios, Rockaway, New Jersey. My band's, I guess our band, because you're in it now. Deja Gravy is celebrating 10 years. This is our first show with the synth player, so I'm very excited. Our singer, Kevin Goon, will be traveling from North Carolina for it. And it's going to be a quick show, because I know people nowadays have short attention spans. There's only two openers. One's an acoustic, one's a two-person band. And then we're going to do our thing. And it's going to be a live album. It's going to be, we're recording it. Because we don't have, the only recordings we have with the singer are he literally took previously recorded songs and just added vocals. So this would be cool that we're actually doing it like live, as Tucker Carlson said, fuck it, we'll do it live.
I don't think Tucker Carlson said that.
I was kidding. No, it was the angry guy from Fox News.
Oh, that was Bill O'Reilly.
It was, I'm sorry, I got the wrong wife beater. I'm sorry. That's all of them at Fox News, as far as I'm concerned.
They're all the same.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so that's about it. I mean, Dana Johann and Please Exist will be there. We'll be there.
Yeah.
And it's only a whopping $10. And there's going to be screen prints, I think.
Yeah.
So if you like collecting
Oh, that's cool.
crap, we have crap to sell you.
Excellent.
I
I
might-
love crap.
I might take one of them craps.
All right, no, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know.
What's it called? I forget how many we ordered, but we ordered a bunch.
Yes.
So,
Plenty.
Right on.
and printed by the guitarist of Sunrise
Yay.
at Convex
Oh, right
Friday.
on.
Shout out to Chris.
Oh, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, shout outs to Chris.
Yeah,
Chris
dude.
is the best.
Chris has
I love
done
Chris.
every single Deja Gravy shirt we've ever done. Chris has printed. So, of course, when it came time to do a screen print, he was the first person I contacted, and he said, of course.
Chris did my first
Sweet.
t-shirt run, which he did himself and knocked out of the park, and I still have a lot of them, and that's no fault of his own. But he did a great
Which-
job. He's awesome.
Which one was that?
The legalized recreational riff shirt.
Oh, I have one of those.
Yeah.
So
No,
Yeah.
yeah, now I have
Great
two of his
shirt.
shirts.
all connected.
No,
Oh,
you have one of
yeah.
his shirts. He didn't do the other one. He didn't do the Burrito Mellow ones.
Oh, I said no. I will have two. Oh wait,
Oh,
he's
you
doing
will
a
have-
poster. That's right, he's doing a poster. That's right. Screen print.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to wear.
You know, we could figure
You could, like
something.
you could just tape it on and be like, "It's my shirt."
Well, yeah, I'm not.
Right.
Staple it. Just staple.
Yeah, do like the Indiana Jones, just staple it to yourself.
Yeah.
Sure,
And,
don't go anywhere.
At the OCs the other night, I was gonna put a sign on my back because I'm very desperate for people to hang out with, not hang out with, the jam with in Massachusetts. So I was gonna get a piece of paper that's just like bassist who needs bands, and I was gonna put my QR code on the back. So even if someone at the show didn't want to talk to me right then and there, they can at least scan the QR code and like message me later.
Like listen to your music. That's a good idea.
Right, thank you. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even have to engage with me. They can just scan, listen to
Yeah.
my band playing, and then decide if they want to actually jam with me or not.
Yeah.
But I ended up not doing that because I was just distracted about getting to see the OCs.
Yes.
By the time we got to the show, I realized, and I was like, oh, I fucked up.
I didn't put my QR code on my back.
Yeah. Damn. I forgot my stickers at home. It was not.
Yeah, we have stickers with QR codes that I have illustrated,
Yeah.
and we
Oh,
keep
right
like
on.
meaning to bring them places, and then we get to the place, and it's like, oh, we forgot the stickers that we tag. It's fine.
We never forget the weed, but we always forget the stickers.
Priorities.
There's something meaning in that.
Well, check that out if you can. Highly recommend.
Dude, if I was
Beers.
around, I would totally go.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. No, well, we might do it again next year. Who knows? We'll
But
see.
you should really come to check out Gravy's debut as a funeral doom.
Yeah, we're officially funeral
Yeah.
dude now because we have a synth player.
Nice.
That's
That was
awesome.
a-
Now you need a
The world needs more funeral doom.
Yeah, you need a fog machine and all that too. So.
we intended to be funeral doom from the beginning. 10 years ago when we first started, we intended to be funeral doom, and we either couldn't find a keyboardist, or when we did, they wanted to be Keith Emerson. You know, they wanted to like literally, and that's not a diss, 'cause I'm a huge GLP fan. They were so fucking bored. They're like, what do you mean you want me to hold two notes? I'm like, I literally want you to hold two notes. And like, but you know, when we were starting to prepare for the 10-year anniversary show, I was just, you know, in the car with Boo, and I'm like, you know, it would be perfect if we could find a synth player. And Boo's like, you know, I play keys, right? And it's like, oh, well, let's go buy you a synthesizer.
Can you hold this key down and then this key down and do each one for like 10 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, literally, like I'm ready to go full like John Carpenter and just gonna like.
Yeah. Because
Have you seen Carpenter live?
Oh yeah. He's
Yeah,
literally
I mean,
one hand playing synth, the other hand like this.
Yep, and then like everybody else doing all of the other music.
Oh yeah.
And then he just fully disappears for like 2 or 3 songs.
Oh god. Yeah, that's who that gives me flashbacks. So,
Danny
oh
Elfman.
no, I'm also thinking about George Clinton. The times I saw Parliament Funkadelic, like they played for 2.5 hours, but George Clinton's on stage for 15 minutes. Like he'll just come out occasionally, do backup vocals on a song, and then he dips out again. The band keeps playing, and he comes. Not throwing shade, I love George Clinton, but I remember like numerous times throughout the set being like, "Where'd he go? Like, the band's so where'd he go?"
He used to have a drug problem.
No, well, I think
Remarkably, I've heard by all accounts, he's no longer smoking crack.
oh, that's
So
good.
yeah. I think it's
That's
a couple
fair,
years
sure.
now. He's been
Oh,
clean.
good for
Yeah.
off crack. I mean,
Yeah, sometimes you try crack once for like 3 years. It just happens sometimes. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you approved of my terrible sense of humor.
Do you have any kind of like microphone or anything that you can hook into it?
Not that I'm aware of. See, I'm in New Jersey. I'm at my parents' house. I'm not even at our apartment.
Oh, well, I mean, that's just such a problem. You're in New Jersey.
I told